Hello and welcome to Herd Summer Racing League. We have kicked off race one of this series. We're 3 laps of Chain Chomper, and we are watching Ed Whedon of the herd right now. I'm joined by Brent and Chris. So, Brent, I'm going to throw this over to you for a minute. Yeah. Unless you're going for a banner attack. Yeah, it would be stupid, but I I advocate for that kind of stupidity. So. So, just so everybody's aware, nobody can hear you. Just 1 second while I fix that.
No.
Can they just not hear Brent, or is it just all of us?
Nope, they could hear me, but not you guys.
Oh.
So now they can.
Picking up right where we left off, the kickoff HSRL Season 2.
Oh, here goes the sprint. Ed's doing good. Well, this is a good sprint. Oh, he's a big sprinter, Ed.
Ed is a huge sprinter. I'm not confident in my ability to beat Ed.
He must have had that time for sure, because he was not on the front, and he beat everyone by almost a half bike length over a second.
Yeah, so he was pretty close to the front at the sprint start, but he did get it by 4/100ths of a second, I think, over Lutman. So that was quite the matchup.
Oh, well, this will be a good battle. Hopefully, I mean, I guess sprinting and climbing can be two very different things. So, which to those who missed our earlier discussion. This course is the Chain Chomper course, 3 laps, which features this sprint segment for points. For those who aren't familiar with the HSRL format, the way it works is that you have to try and get your fastest time through each segment. So that when we just watched the sprint, the objective there is to get the fast time through that sprint. And then there's 2 climbs, the Castle KOM and the Temple KOM. And so the other sort of segment points on this course are across those 2 KOMs, and then there are a third of the total points. We're like 450 total points. It's like 300. So the finish is worth like 150 points, Craig?
200 because there are 450, right?
Yep, correct.
So And given that I now do the scoring instead of James for this, it is 200. I don't have to say I think it's going to be.
Just guess. Perfect.
So the C's have started. So I am following Jamie Bramwell of the herd. So Jamie's one of our West Coast Zone 18 TTT riders. And I see Nate Holm and Sean Fogenberg in the pack as well.
Oh, yeah. Sean said on Pinktron he was going to race 2 today. So shout out to Sean if he's listening along while he's riding. Lisa, we are trying to repeat everything. We'll go back and count.
You probably shouldn't repeat that one thing that you said, Brent.
Well, I don't think Lisa's referring to the things I said that were wrong in the earlier podcast. I don't know if Sean's published the podcast yet, but let's be honest, it probably wasn't the only thing I got wrong on the podcast either. I did eat pancakes. That part I got right.
Oh gosh, yeah, we really need a fact checker for this outfit. Maybe a couple,
or just leave it and let it be.
Or,
we'll post a note in the comments. We'll post a note in the comments. Good. It's funny you said banner attack, Craig, because I think a couple of those the 3Ds who didn't were just a little further back than Whedon and Lootman on that sprint did push a little through. I saw. I'd have to stand up a little to stick in there.
But it is a definite place where you can put on a little pressure because it's a relatively quick turnaround from sprint to Castle KOM. And if you're off the back there, that's one more rider that you don't have to worry about setting a fastest time through. So wouldn't be a ridiculous strategy, but it is a long race. It's at least an hour in anger.
Well, so I guess if you can drop one or two good sprinters at that point, that's kind of the goal, right? So it's the rest of them working together is the way that's going to work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if you can cut somebody loose, they will find groups at some point, but they're at least doing that KOM and possibly most, if not all, of the second one before you can find more wheels. Yeah. Unless you just absolutely sit up.
Which might be the best response to that.
Which is probably the best way to go, to pull over, wait for another group to come through.
I'm really enjoying this dude in the pink bikes kit. Rubber side down.
Oh, Jamie is hammering this from the front. Gone off the front and first across the line. I don't have a camera account in the C, so I don't know what the score is. But well done by Jamie. It looks like T. Jackson and T. Slaminski got the jerseys, so I don't know exactly what happened, but yeah, that was
way
something.
Out early.
Jamie went a little early on that one, I think, or either early or from too far forward in the pack would be my kibitz on that one. But yeah, it was definitely a strong sprint, and let's just see if she's going to... Well, I think this is going to come back together. I don't think she needs to put in a huge effort, but she is.
Our D group is on the first Castle KOM.
Oh, so they are?
Ed was on the very front here for a little bit. Now he's just kind of stuck in the lead four. It looks like they're all coming back together, so it's good. This is definitely a very draftable KOM, so really kind of, push to try and drop weak bodies, wear guys out, but, probably plan on staying with the group for a final sprint finish most times, in my experience. And the place to really push is kind of that final ramp when it turns up there. This is all kind of a bit tough to drop bodies through.
And before it gets too far in a rearview mirror, just to break down that first sprint a little bit, I saw that in race 1 where people were trying to tail gun and it was a race to the back. But where I got my fastest sprint was when I was off the front by myself, just hammering it. Instead of trying to aim for the draft, just aiming for highest entry speed because it is such a short sprint. If you're just trying to get a draft, you might be slower overall speed. So
Yeah, I'd say you don't necessarily want to be like, you don't want to start your sprint from the front, but you don't necessarily need to be last across the line either.
yeah, well, you don't want to start the sprint off the front unless you have to.
Yeah.
And in my case, the pack was moving so slow; they were all trying to get a little too cute with it, where just the overall speed was dropping, and it was either fall down in the overall or spend a few more watts and go by yourself.
Yep. And yeah, that sounds like it was probably the way to go.
Yep. So something to think about for everybody.
Ed's doing a good job to battle to stay with the group here. So this is the key. This is where I usually find is the key part of this castle climb is this little pave ramp right here. It's going to come around the corner, and then it's this to the longest, steepest bit before it flattens out for the sprint. You really got to stick in here, and if you can be in the front, that's okay, because you can kind of take a half breath as people come through you and then win the sprint. And he's stuck back in there, so he's battling for it. This is a good battle. Really impressive stuff here by these guys.
Yeah, so it looks like the C's are on the KOM as well. It looks like we have missed the start of the B's, but it doesn't look like anything interesting has happened yet. They're just going into the village. I actually have not looked at who to follow in the B's yet at all. So, surprisingly, I don't see much for. Yeah, there's not many herd riders. I think the only one I can find my first run through is Bobby Edwards, and that's in a 22 rider field. So, a good field, but yeah, not a lot of herd B's in this race.
I'm in my little dude sit in the A pen. But don't worry, Stuart, I'm not racing today. I just saw you join the pen.
So it looks like Jamie is definitely under pressure from this strong C group. She's sitting in 10th. I guess she has the jersey, but that doesn't necessarily. She's racing against a lot of men, so not necessarily for the race overall.
All right, and the D's are just through the top of the KOM. It looks like most likely Ed was third in that KOM.
I'm showing as fourth.
Fourth? Okay. Yeah, the other rider was really close, so we couldn't tell from where the start line stuff would ended up.
So I'm seeing Lutman, Tag, Kikanis, then Ed, and then Birkin.
So, I mean, half the battle on every KOM is not just the points, but also staying with the group as long as you can. So,
yeah. So it does look like Lutman is 5 seconds off the front on his own. Then there's a pair 4 seconds back from him, and then Ed and Birkin are looks like 2 seconds back from that other pair. So we'll see whether this is able to be knit back together, or whether it might be best to just kind of take it easy to the start of the KOM and put the effort in to catch on the KOM. That would be my play, but
well, it looks like the front is even slowing down. If I had to,
yeah,
they're all basically back together at this point.
Yep, so they are.
And then it'll be interesting to watch what happens here with the bike change, of course. Always the strategy on all these dirt courses is who changes bikes, who doesn't change bikes, and how that all goes. I with a 5-man D group, I don't know about you, Craig.
I would change, and even if nobody else did, I would change. So yeah, that's my opinion. Where's Stuart? So Stuart Lynn is our herd representative in the A group, and the A group has just kicked off. And it looks like a group of 6, I think, that are actually partaking. 7. 7. That would be one of my kids. Yeah, so one of my kids is the same because he hasn't ridden on Zwift in a while. They are, and Bobby's in the middle of the pack, which is the smart thing to do for most of this one. So Jamie is sitting in 10th, so she's back 24 seconds from the main group, I think it looks like. It's not necessarily a horrible call. That is a thing. Definitely a thing. So I'm seeing Bobby on a Tron. So I don't know what's going on. I think I am. I guess it's tough. Oh, on Ed. Ed? Yes. Ed in the D's, yes. So Ed in the D's is on a canyon, and I think you may be right. I don't think he swapped, which makes winning the first sprint even more impressive. And yeah, he is putting a lot of time in to the rest of the D's. Well, I mean, like that was the oh shoot, it wasn't Chain Chomper. What course did we do in ZRL? That sounds right. But it was very similar. Just a little bit. I think we didn't do the Castle KOM. I don't think. But yeah, we were going the other way around. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, on that one, definitely running the gravel bike across the flat was it was the play. Running the gravel bike was the play. In B and A for sure. C was debatable, but yeah, no, it's very much the way to go. And I mean, Ed is playing this really well. He's doing less power and putting time into the rest of the D's. It's yeah, it's working out very well for him right now. Yeah, so the B's are approaching the top of the Castle KOM. Bobby is very near the front. So he crosses the line first. I don't know. It looks like second for the prime for Bobby. So yeah, and I think Ali was even further off the back, and he's tough to beat in that game. I did too. Uh-oh. Oops. Yeah. I can't imagine staying off the front that whole KOM. It's just there's just so much draft. Yeah. But it's flat, so let's not attack. Anyway, yeah. The way I'm kind of expecting Bobby to switch, but he hasn't yet. The thing is, if you're going to switch, you definitely want to do it before the KOM start marker. Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't look like he's going to. Wow, that's surprising. Oh, it looked like Bobby stopped, but he stopped after the KOM marker and aborted. So smart to abort, I think, but because you're going to lose a bunch of the benefit. But I do think it would have been better off to swap. So that was a huge tail gunning effort by Bobby and Ali and I think it's McPherson. They dropped 6-7 seconds to the main group in tail gunning that. It looks like because Stewart's now in sixth. Yeah. 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 So as this gets a little steeper here, and then up into that ramp, yeah, it's gonna get silly. Yeah. Yeah. Right here is where I typically tend to see people really try to drop people. So back to the D's. Kanakis has caught up to Ed. I think Ed's still gonna make it. They're almost to the top of the KOM. It's less than a second, but they're coming right up to the line. Nate Holm has passed them, so this Nate Holm is the lead C and current lead of the race. So Kanakis does beat Ed across the line, and let's see what that gives us for. Oh no, never mind. I see what's happened there. We should get that in just a second. So if I were Ed, I'd put in a dig and try and get on Nate's wheel and get down the hill. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. So just Nate. Um, Yeah, so Sleminski is 13 seconds back, and then third and fourth are 46 seconds back. So yeah, that's a huge climb by Nate. And then Nate gets the D's to descend with. So I mean that's gonna work out pretty well, I think. Yeah, so the front B's have passed Jamie now. And the front C's are, or so the main group of C's, I guess, if there is a main group, the B's are approaching rapidly. Yeah, so it does look like Ed was, yeah. Oh, wow. So he did tailgun that significantly. So yeah, but that's a heck of a climb. And it looks like this league group of Ed, Nate, and Kakanis are they're putting more time into the C's on the way down. So I mean, I guess as your speeds get up, this starts to get kind of silly. But yeah, no, that does look like quite the move by Nate. Yeah, that's it definitely depends on whether those C's catch on to that B group or not. And how big that B group is, because right now that B group is looking pretty small. Yeah, so that's going to be a smaller group, but they do seem to be pushing on not too bad. So yeah. I think you're probably right, but I mean that's a minute and 20 seconds gap. It's that is a significant gap, or that's what it's showing. That's what Zwift is showing me anyway. Yeah. I don't know why they can't, but they can't, and now they can. Hello.
Hello, everybody. If you're wondering what just happened, we had a mild technical difficulty.
This is more
No
than mild.
problem. You should be. We all have our own definitions, Greg. You should be following along with Jamie Bramwell now, who is mid C's, but on with a group of B's. Am I getting that about right?
Yeah, so Jamie is in with so she is in the C, she's competing in C, but
G,
she's in a
pardon me.
group with 3 Bs right now.
But that's like in the middle of the C group overall, if I'm getting that right.
I think she's more towards the back, but yeah.
Okay. And then our friend Ed, who we had up in the D group, he went through the sprint. He got dropped by that group of Bs in front of him. Right, he's gung ho for the gravel bike. So kudos to Ed for sticking with a plan. He is now into the climb solo. We'll see how the times all shake out for him. Kansas is 38 seconds up the road and was putting time into him before they got to the climb. So I don't know what the gap is there, but Kansas is putting time into Ed for sure here on the castle climb. And then, so you can't see any of that, but just for everybody's edification. And then Stewart's group, they are just through the sprint. He should be close for time on the sprint. You can't see the sprint times, of course, but he's right there in the sprint. He's sprinting hard. Should be close. And then who else are we watching? Who are we watching? Bees? Bobby?
So
Bobby, are we able
were
to get him?
watching Bobby and the Bees, but I am having trouble getting back to Bobby.
I was just giving the oral updates. It's like radio, Chris.
Well, it's a shame we can't get Bobby. He's putting in a heck of a climb. He's off the front right now.
So yeah, Jamie is in Castle KOM climb. Not too surprising that the bees she was riding with are riding past her a bit. That's a bit of a tough spot to be in on a climb, but you use that draft to the best you can for the best speed. You might still get a really good time in the C's just by holding on as long as you can to the bees for sure. So it's a good pacing thing to have going through. It's a couple stronger riders to ride off of.
Don't get an updated time, so I'm not sure where he came in at, but it looked like a very strong one from him.
The A's are about to start the castle climb right about now. So
Interesting. Now that the groups are maybe a little more split up than before, maybe you didn't employ a bike change on lap 1 because you didn't want to lose the big group. Maybe you do it on lap 2.
yeah, I remember that being my strategy on one of these when I got dropped. Like I went with them in lap 1, and then I was solo or 2 or 3, and bike change after that. Hoping, especially that like kind of the back of the first group in front of me got more tired and didn't bike change and tried for a second time, so then I'd be able to pick up a few more points. Second time through.
How did that work out?
No, I'm too crappy. I think I was like, I might have been, if I was 12th or 15th or something on the first round, I might have moved up 1 spot on the second one. But there was a reason I got dropped.
It's a good strategy, at least.
Yeah. Nothing else that broke up the mental monotony. Yeah, now we're definitely seeing the A's pull time into the groups in front of them. You can see it dropping as they're on the climbs here. and going through people. I mean, that's the only thing when you're in the A's too, is that there's less. Your catching groups in front of you is much less exciting. Because you just usually ride right through them.
Watching Bobby's little group to see if anybody bike changes, but no. He's dropping back to tail down the climb, but it looks like everybody's stuck with what they were on.
Jamie's finishing strong here on the climb. Across the flat bit to the finish. Last little squeeze of power to see how far up the group she can get. That's some good racing.
So purely as a public service announcement, it does appear that with the last update, there has been significant change to how fan viewing works.
Oh.
And I can't get Bobby back.
Who are you able to grab in the bees?
So right now, I think I can only grab somebody in the Bs by leaving Jamie or Stuart. So I think I'll leave Jamie, and we will try to grab somebody in the Bs.
And Stewart is like, he's gonna have a crack at winning this race.
He's doing well. So right now, I've got Bobby and Stuart as our two right now, and we'll move these two cameras around as we go. I think.
Sounds good. Good plan.
Yeah, they're on the cobbles here on climb 2, and he is stuck right in. So, it's a little hard sometimes in these longer races to know how deep the other guys are going.
Well, I notice Ali right with Bobby in the lead group right now, where Ali got dropped in the first climb. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on. I would have expected Ali to bike swap, but yeah, we'll see.
So Stewart, yeah, they're winding it there. Oh, Stewart's winding up for a sprint finish here on this. Like, he's going through these guys on the finish to the KOM. I think he's gonna win this KOM. He's 15 meters in front of them. I think he had that one by.
I think you're right.
2-3 seconds. So he was only 4th on lap 1, and 3rd on Temple, but I think he's got both sprints. So
yeah, that's
he's right there on points.
He is. With 4 more segments to go, right? Yes.
Yes. 1 more sprint, 2 more temples, and 1 more castle.
Yeah.
Just as a quick peek in on the bees, Ed is just starting the gravel climb for the 2nd time.
Okay.
He just came through the KOM start point there. I'm getting that right. So he's 1:30 on Kansas. So we'll have to watch.
Kakanis, I think that is.
Kansas, yep. Pardon me. So we'll have to watch that timer and see by the time. Oh no, he isn't quite to the start line. He's right just below it. But so we'll have to watch that 1:30 split and see if he can close that down. And then he's 26 seconds up on Mr. Lutman. So that's what we'll be watching. I couldn't tell if Kakanis did a bike swap.
Yeah. So Bobby is with one other rider. They're just about to cross. to cross the finish of the KOM. They've just got one corner left to go. They've got almost 20 seconds on a group of two behind them. So they are, they have a bit of a lead. We'll see. I don't know whether they're going to really attack each other here or what. It looks like, there's over 5 from both of them. I don't know. I didn't see at the beginning of the climb what the relative positions were, but that is 2. It looks like Bobby did get that, so that was 454 for Bobby, 458 for Ruth. So that's some serious climbing.
That may have been last lap's time, though.
No, those were the set of new PR times on.
Oh, okay.
I got a view of, yeah.
Then pretty identical to last lap, which is impressive.
Yes, well, slightly faster.
Yep, I think you might have gone maybe 2 faster. Yeah. Yeah, you don't need to bike change if you can do that. So keep it up.
Nope.
The A's are into the dirt climb now too, and it's Stewart's stuck right in there. He's doing good climb. I mean, he's riding the disc wheels. He's riding the Cervelo, but he's riding the disc wheels up against a Tron and a maybe a Special Ethos or something.
That does look like an Athos.
So he's definitely carrying the heavy bike, but it's good for the sprint and it's good for the top of the castle. So the only place it really hurts you is kind of the steep bits of the dirt.
Yep.
Now he's attacking. Oh, he is.
That is bold.
Smashing these guys. They're responding. Nice. This is some good racing. Well, it's making me feel a little tired just watching it, but.
Yep.
Hopefully you're not doing it this weekend, Brent?
No. I have other engagements that are necessary to be involved in a physical way that I don't want to hurt myself doing. I can't say, especially after Bologna last week, that I'm super sad about it, but
no. So it looks like it's a it looks like it's pairs in the Bs. So Bobby is in the lead with Ruth, and there's Terrio and Bomba that look to be only 6 seconds back, and then 34 seconds back is Whitford and Alley from Dirt. So that's I don't know if that's going to come. So that first pair might catch if they really they look to be really trying to on this downhill. But 35 seconds, I think that's enough that they might steer clear of that next pair.
And that second pair is coming up right now, so that catch has been made. And I think that's the smart move to get this into a group of 4.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. A group of 4 will stay away from that that pair. That's, well, maybe not. This is where the times in the downhill are not always quite so accurate. So that's down to 25 seconds now. So we'll see what that steadies out to here. But
checking back in on our friend Ed Whedon in the D's, he is a minute 25 back at Kansas. So I've got him as putting in 5 seconds so far on this climb. So that's some good racing in HSRL, and he's definitely put time to Lubin, who's now over a minute back. So,
yeah,
good climbing by Ed there for sure. As the A's are in the top part of the climb here. They've got 2 more turns, and then it'll be sprint for the finish. And they're all together, so these 3 are going to be duking it out probably to the finish line if I had to guess, but never know. I don't think I've ever done a 5-minute tempo like that. Was some smashing racing.
Absolutely. And Stewart's attacking. Probably the right move.
That feels early.
It does. Say he had the Sea Rider out in front of him to.
Looks like he's going to hold it off, though.
Yep.
Wow, he's totally got it.
Yep.
Oh. Amazing racing. Not fast, just not showing PR, so. But fast nonetheless.
Yeah, it's still a solid time. And yeah, then he sits up, which is the right call for sure. And yeah, so in the Bs, it looks like that pair behind is staying solidly 24 or 25 seconds back. Bobby is in danger of losing a group here.
Yeah.
I'm not I didn't see exactly how that happened, but he is working to get back on.
It just kind of got stretched out. This rider went off the front a little bit, pulled everybody with him to make an effort. And that's where we are right now, stretched out. Everybody's in a little bit of panic to reconnect. We'll get there. Maybe the plan was to soften up legs right before the sprint. Who knows?
Maybe. They seem to have gotten Bobby the most, and he's won the first 2 sprints, so would make sense.
God. I just looked at my times on this segment. For some reason, I don't know what could have possibly possessed me, but I did this same segment in back-to-back days on an HSRLs.
Sounds right.
I must have been drunk.
Also sounds right, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. Craig, are you riding this weekend?
I think I might. I am not racing BMX. I just got back from the track. I was working. We've got our track is hosting a big race, so I was helping out, just parking cars.
And if you do race it, what is your preferred time of day? This was our Around the Horn.
It was. I don't really have a preferred time of day. This is probably shown in both ZRL and TTT, where I race with the Quokkas, Kookaburras, and with the Fishers and the Griffins. So
it's like one of those is 5 in the morning, and one of those is 10 at night.
Yeah, so 9:30, 9:45, and 5:30 in the morning. So yes.
Oh, and here, sorry to jump in, but we're seeing this with Bobby's sprint. What I was talking about earlier, people were just racing to the back, and you just got to go for it, or else you're bottom.
Yeah, you got to be up to speed for the start.
Yeah.
Or you're not going to catch. Yeah, it's short enough. At a certain point, you just have to go. Right.
Yeah, that was a really good illustration of that. So good job recognizing that, Bobby.
Our friend Ed just went through. It says he's a minute 39 back, but I feel like
doesn't feel right, does it?
Well, Candace put 10 seconds on when he would have been on the downhill. So I don't know when it's doing that math how much that's impacting that, or maybe Ed did just did slow down that much, but because he had it down to a minute 25, minute 24 or something like that, and then all of a sudden it went up to way more than that.
So unless there were bike swaps happening.
Oh, maybe that's true. But halfway through the climb, well, I guess you never know.
I don't know.
Who knows?
In any event, certainly if he's looking at the same thing I am, he was racing it. You know what I mean? Like he was. I mean, that's all you can do in these races, right? If you get separated off, you got to kind of watch the splits, try and stay with a group where you can, and just try and do the best you can and try and make those numbers smaller or bigger depending on if they're up the road or back of the road behind you. Interestingly, Stewart has put 3 seconds on those other two riders who he was with now back on the flats.
Interesting.
And he's closing in on a B, so he's on a B wheel. And there's another one 8 seconds in front, so like he might get like some draft here to boot. Fortunately, like the problem is if you get draft from slower riders, it can't always help. But he might be able to kind of hopscotch through here and keep putting in time. I'd just be a little worried that I'd be torched for 2 more of these climbs.
Yeah.
Really good job by Bobby starting that climb too. 10 or so meters off the back of that group, and then just quickly accelerating. Really good tail gunning strategy.
Yeah, that gap's up to 10 seconds for Stewart. Like he is.
Yeah, that's yeah. We'll keep an eye on that. I'm gonna jump somewhere else, I think, but so I want to see what's going on at the front of the C's.
Is that Nate all by himself?
It is. Well, so what it is
he's with some bees.
Yeah, so Nate is hooked onto some bees, and is very much milking that. I mean, it looks like he's putting some work in this group as well, but he's 45 seconds clear of the next C, and then there's a group of T2, another 22 seconds back from that. And Nate is hitting the sprint hard. He's got an aero truck. He's got that deployed just before the start line. And he's... Oh, they went through. Sorry, I don't see the results. Using this camera, because it's not in the right pen, I don't see the results, so I can't tell you anything.
Looks like our friend Sean Fogenberg and Greg Carpenter have jumped on Stewart's wheel as he goes through here.
That's definitely a thing
it's all
to
fair
do.
game, but
Yep.
I hope they can hold it. They're probably gonna make it to the sprint with them, which will be good probably for all 3 of them, frankly.
Yep.
Yes.
I would agree.
Oh, Sean's leading it out. Stewart's right on his wheel. And Stewart's coming through him now. PR for Carpenter, so
I think that's a
worked
PR
out for him.
So for Stewart as well, I think, isn't it? No.
It's not showing it in my watch screen. I can never remember that it'll do that or not while I'm watching him, but it didn't improve, I don't think, the sprint time on the left. So
no.
But those other 2 guys are going to be just the 2 of them coming through, so he's been beating them. So I think he's going to take the points there, too. I think he'll take all 50 of them. Yeah, he's definitely decided he's just going to go win this thing. I wonder if he's done the math on the points, too, that even if he doesn't win the segments, as long as he beats these 2 and wins the race, he's got it.
I've got to think he has. That seems like a Stewart thing to do.
I can never do the math that fast. And even when I can, somebody drops out and screws it up for me.
Yep.
That was a bullseye throwback to this week. Oh, our friend Ed has switched onto his Tron bike.
Oh, excellent.
So he is on the pavement, on the flats, on a Tron. Which, nothing wrong with that. I mean, he's, 147 back at Canis, 229 up on Lutman. Time in between is kind of irrelevant. Might as well get the Tron and make sure he gets those sprint points.
Absolutely.
And have a good crack at him on Castle here on Tron. I think Tron is probably the fastest bike on Castle.
Solo, I'd have to agree.
Yep. Yeah. Looks like Bobby's about to finish his last trip up Castle.
Yep, just through.
Stewart keeps pushing this brake. And even somewhat more interestingly, of course, is the next closest chaser seems to have shaken the rider behind him.
Oh, that's interesting.
So now the next closest rider is chasing him solo. What does a red check mark mean?
I can't say that I'm sure. Where are we looking at that?
Next to their name in the rider list on the right.
So that should mean that is somebody's verified identity. But the check mark is not that they're a pro, it's that there's somebody else that is known, I believe.
Congratulations, Liebrun, we know you.
There's probably somebody famous that I should know, but that I don't.
From ATP?
I don't know.
I won't lie, I'm doing some Googling. Because Lieberman is coming for him. He's closed that gap now.
Yep.
9 seconds, so he's made up 10 plus seconds on him.
So that is Rachel Lieberman.
Yeah. Pardon me, she has.
Yes.
Oh, someone who had the female sprinters, he must have left the race or something. It says she just got the sprint jersey,
Okay.
but I don't see why that would have happened. She's nowhere near the sprint start. She's smashing this climb.
That's impressive to do after everybody's got an hour in their legs at this point. This is when things go a little sideways.
Yeah.
So I haven't worked out why Rachel Lieberman has a check mark. But, yeah.
Director of social media at YTV? Is that the same person? At MTV? Maybe? Might be different, Rachel.
I found at least 7 Strava profiles, so I didn't work out why any of them were had a red check mark. So she has caught Stewart though in all of this.
She did. So she will probably have the fastest time on that climb, almost certainly. And I don't know if Stewart's going to finish higher than third. Isabel might be right there as he is coming up. Well, that's interesting. Stewart did all that work. I hope he's not too torched for this last climb to hold on for the big finish. Finishes at the countryside sprint line, right?
It is, yes. Yeah, so the sprint doesn't count for points the last time through, only for position across the line.
It's a long race. They've already been at this for almost an hour.
Yeah. So back to Bobby. He is again approaching the top of the KOM with Ruth, and they've got 23 seconds on the other pair again. So we'll see how that ends up with kind of a sprint to the line, so to speak.
I would think they'd be wanting to stay away, right? To grab 1-2 just between the two of them. But who knows how hard these backs are going to push.
I definitely would.
Yeah. Yep. So no, I don't see any traffic up ahead that they could latch onto either. So it'll just be 2 versus 2 here.
Yep, does look like this should be pretty clean.
Like all the A's are going to hit the start line right together. Ed back in our D group is on the castle climb. Oh, I'm not seeing Kakanis in front of him anymore. Oh, there he is. 3 minutes up. Ooh.
Yeah, Bobby and Ruth are putting in some big digs here. Some orange numbers getting dropped here. Just I don't think necessarily attacking each other, but signaling to the other one that, hey, we got to keep on it here to stay out.
weird HSRL race dynamics, 2 B riders had stopped to do a bike swap and have now caught the wheels of these A riders. And they're riding, one's on a mountain and one's on a gravel, riding behind Bobby on the Cervelo and Lieberman on her pink Tron. I'll give her taste in bikes. That I will give her. And this other guy on his Athos. So they're like trying to ride with them. So their power output, of course, is a little bit lower, but they're matching it because they're on better dirt climbers.
You're on the right bike, yeah.
And so they might, these guys back here, like if they stick with these A's, I gotta think they're gonna be awful close to setting the B time split on this lap.
It's the fun of this format, right? Just really anything can
Yeah.
happen the way it plays out downstream of all these bike decisions and splits and where you're using your matches and who you can latch on to. And so much fun.
Yeah, definitely lots of mayhem, which is really what we're looking for.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Continue
and
to stay
Bobby's
away
attacking.
and pull that out a little bit.
Bobby
Yeah, they've been doing
is
this kind of
attacking.
back
Yeah.
and forth. Yeah. It does look like he has a little bit of a gap now. But Ruth has matched him, orange numbers for orange numbers all the way on this descent.
Looks like he's got 4 seconds now. So
Now he's got 4 seconds, yeah. Yeah, if Bobby could just put his head down, go into full TT mode here. Numbers look good. RPMs are still up there. Not sure what his max heart rate is, so I'm not sure if he's got any room to go there, but power output looks decent.
very much.
Oh.
And Ruth is putting out 6s, but the gap continues to grow. So that might be a very light rider.
So some of this may be bike too, depending on what bike Ruth is on.
That is true.
I'm actually going to go look.
That is true. Yeah, if you were on a gravel or a mountain and didn't want to change at the top and just hoping to ride it out, now you're on the wrong bike.
Here come the A's with the big finish. One last hairpin. Stewart's got a truck, and he is dropping it now, right before the hairpin. This is a good call because I don't feel like Lieberman's got a super strong sprint.
So I think
Neither does Isbell.
I don't recognize the bike. I think he's on an LA Sprint with 808 wheels. Ruth. So a less good bike than the Tron as far as aero goes, though. So and yeah, probably a lightweight rider. The other thing is Bobby did carry a lot of speed out of the gravel and really pushed at the top of the downhill. So would have had some of that carries through all that downhill.
And it is a Pinktron at that, so
We
all know there's a performance benefit there. Yeah.
It's like 5 watts.
Yeah, 5 to 12, depending.
So both of those 2 B riders that I was talking about in that A climb, both had PRs. Chasing those A's up the climb. So that was, now they're of course dropping back as they change bikes back. And this should be quite a finish. With think if I'm Stewart, I'd be pretty happy just to hang in here and then bunch sprint it because he's got the sprint, so they're gonna have to attack him.
Yeah. If I was those bees, though, I don't know if I would have changed bikes back.
Off of a mountain bike?
Oh, they went mountain bike. Okay.
One for sure was mountain. I thought the other was gravel.
Yeah, so no, on a gravel bike, where you're not carrying on after the sprint, not doing the Castle KOM again, I would, and you're on the tail of the A riders, I definitely would have considered staying in that group with the A's.
Yeah, definitely. If you were the gravel bike, just use the draft.
And it does look like one of the bees is still with them.
Yeah, one of them did stick in there.
So
I think that might have been one they gobbled up, not one that came with them from the bottom.
Okay.
So there's one they did gobble up there. That I can't remember if that was Plu now or Lyles.
Yeah, so it is Lyles that is with them, but
yeah, definitely.
If I were on the gravel and I saw the mountain bike have to stop and change, that's when you adjust course and just stick in, and that's a free finishing position right there.
Yeah.
So Bobby is sprinting to the line for style points here. And he is first across the line. So there's that 200 points. And
it's a good race.
Excellent race.
Really good.
Although, so the unfortunate thing is because I watched him go across the line, it looks like I can't get back to anybody in the race. So there definitely is a change to how fan view is working. So that's.
I've always had that damn problem.
I never have. This is to me very much a change. So yeah. No, so I've got Stewart. I'm gonna have to leave Stewart in order to get anybody else. I guess is the So I can't change the one Bobby's on, and once Stewart crosses the line, I won't have anybody else in the race. So we'll stay with Stewart as he approaches the line here, and then do a quick swap back.
I'm watching Charlie Chaser, the pace bot. Charlie's putting in a good, solid 3.0 average.
For the past week.
The village.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Nate.
Hey.
Hey, Nate.
This is a miserable course.
You must be back on the flats now?
Almost. Thankfully. 4K to go. No, I got a little bit lucky catching those bees on the descent of the last climb. Definitely gave me some breathing room.
Sure.
But it's almost like a 15-minute effort because you got the Castle KOM and then straight after you got the temple.
Yep. It is.
It's just torture. It's a good one, though. It's a good course.
It's a good course. I think Sean's right that 3 laps is a lot.
Nah.
Or Chris.
No, it is. 3 laps is a lot. Durrell was complaining about that as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as awful as some of the other routes that are a little bit longer that you can see. Lower C's and D's can definitely feel the pain. I like it. I think 3 is a good distance. 40K is not bad.
Ooh, Stewart is sending it.
So I think he's chasing down an attack. Isbell
Isbell
went
went
first.
Oh,
yeah.
right. Okay, there we go.
Looks like they've got a couple seconds on Lieberman now. Oh, Stewart's just gone over the top. He's
into the village. Go for it. But yeah, I think he's laying off now. So he's still got a ways to go to the finish line here. But they have put time into Lieberman. These two are going to probably duke it out, I think, to the finish line now.
well, it depends on how much they set up. It does look like, I mean, but it's only 5 seconds. That's not impossible.
I think Lieberman is a lot lighter than these two
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah.
I think she'd be hard pressed unassisted to close these two down.
And it looks like she's dropped Lyle's. Or nope, they're still together, I think. But
7 seconds. It's close. But
no, it's there's not enough track left. They're done. It's Isbell and Stewart.
yeah, let's see.
And I'm going to leave
I can
this
see the arch in the
exciting sprint right before it finishes.
Oh, Stewart's on the wheel. I think he's going to have to start. I got to get out of this stupid view. Oh, Stewart had the draft. He sent it. And he's got the lead as they hit the line. Isbell's fading. Not responding. Stewart's pushing 9. Isbell's cooked 20 meters back. Stewart takes the win. Nicely done, Stewart.
Nice. Oh, so checking in backwards, I see Nate has a significant lead over the rest of the C's, so we'll just leave that.
Our friend Ed is back in the dirt again. Solo and 5 minutes behind Kansas.
So Jamie
Kansas.
Bramwell has picked up a spot at some point. Looks like she's doing a bike swap at the top of the last KOM. And looks like it's swapped back to a Tron. So it looks like yeah, so we've got Kakanis is in first.
Ed's pretty squared
Ed's
away in second. But
pretty solid in second, and Lutman in third. So Lutman had gotten a number of the first lap of the first 4 or 5 primes. So this is and Ed got a couple of them as well. Yeah, that's going to get interesting.
How's Sean Fogenberg doing here?
yeah, it looks like he's in cruise mode to the finish.
He's cruising.
I think he has another C with him, doesn't he? Oh no, he doesn't.
Not anymore.
No. So yeah, pretty cruisy. I see. Guy DeBell looks pretty similar. He's in with another C, or with a C, so no B's nearby. Jamie is all by herself, so I don't see a lot of races left right now. So let's just go back and take a look at Ed Whedon as he finishes off the race here, I guess.
Yeah, he's still 600 meters, maybe a little more than that, even to the top of the climb here.
Yeah, with a
Steady march.
yeah, with a 2-minute gap behind, I would definitely consider swapping to the Tron at the top, I guess, or
Yeah, if for
similar.
no other reason, just to
Be done
put yourself out
faster.
of misery.
Yeah.
Although, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Ultimately, is it going to be faster to go trot at the top or gravel and then? Anyway, it's a little 6 one way, half a dozen the other when you're solo.
Yeah. I think even solo, it's even though you're technically slower down the climb, I think rather than stopping, you lose so much less time stopping and swapping at the top than at the bottom that it's worth it.
What do we have on tap for next week for this madness? Oh, Leith Hill, right? Didn't we talk about that? Leith Hill after party?
I think that was Climber's Gambit, though, wasn't it? I think it's 2 cast pats.
I
Oh no, you're right. It is Leith Hill for HSRL. You're right.
Yeah, Leith Hill after party, which is
Sorry, Climber's Gambit is Keith Hill. So it's a long, long, long flat one with 2 classic sprints and then the Leith Hill KOM.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. We definitely talked about that on Pinktron. But
yep.
And which one is Leith Hill?
It's one of the long ones.
Yeah, so that one is you come across the bridge through the tunnel to the train station and take a right as opposed to going left up towards Box Hill.
Yep. And then you do the long, that is the one with the long lead-in climb.
Yeah, so that's the long lead-in climb, and then you climb.
Wait.
So I'm gonna have to, yeah, that one I'm gonna have to talk to James about whether he sets that up, whether that race finish. I don't think it can be set up for after the banner, so I don't think we can use the climb as a segment.
Oh, what a shame.
Although I don't think it matters because the climb is essentially the finishing order.
But not time through, Greg.
Yeah.
Someone could be dropped and come from the back.
Oh, absolutely. But I think, yeah, anybody that's going to score the points necessary on the sprints is going to be in the group, and then, yeah, it's I guess it's essentially the whole climb for first to the top as opposed to the shorter segment with the lead-in climb.
Well, I guess that's interesting. It does change the dynamics of that climb a little bit if it's not points on the segment because people will attack the whole climb.
Yes.
Yep, right from the base. Yep.
Well, and there's a significant reversal in that lead-in. So, you know, there's a spot for some, you know, surge and rest and attack again sort of thing.
Yes. Before you hit the really, really gross steep bits.
Yep. So Ed is approaching the line here. And he's through the top. Did not set a personal best, as one would expect an hour and a half into the race. And riding by yourself.
Listen, I just finished a race last weekend that I did this for like 2 hours, so.
Oh, I get it. I get it.
I feel for him, but I get it. Yeah, that Leith Hilltop is nasty.
Yes. So as we've got Ed rolling in towards the finish, I'm gonna go.
Amy must have just finished. Did I see that?
Yeah. So no, Ed is rolling down the hill now.
Yeah, Ed. Jamie though, I thought Jamie might have just finished. Looked like she'd just come off my little bar.
Oh, let me take a look.
Now she's back.
No, she. I don't think it's finished.
No, she just came back, so
Yeah.
that was a mistake.
I am trying to figure out exactly where she is, but she's very close to the finish.
Bet after a ride like this in real life, doing 50 plus kilometers down the hill would feel pretty all right.
Yeah.
As long as I didn't crash and hurt myself. Speaking of crashing and hurting ourselves, did I mention to you guys what I was thinking I might do this summer?
No, what's that?
There's a 3-day stage race event in Calgary.
Okay.
Got a road race, a hill climb, and a crit.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Mm-hmm. I might want to practice like actually biking outside in like steep turns and stuff before I race a crit though.
In a large pack, very closely packed together.
Yeah. I'm pretty good at falling over sometimes, just clipped in, never mind in an actual race.
Do you have a bike that you don't mind crashing?
I mean, I'll just ride I have a road bike. I mean, it's aluminum.
Right.
I'd have to really wreck it for an aluminum frame.
Yep.
I mean, I'll be in the bottom category because I have no road racing. Like road racing is interesting, right? Because it's like you have to move up by winning and stuff. So it's not like age group or anything. Although in other interesting cycling news, the Canadian women's national time trial champion this year is a triathlete.
Interesting. I mean, that's not totally unbelievable.
Yeah, it's still
I don't
very
think.
much in her discipline, right?
Yeah.
But still. Yeah, it's Paula Findlay from Edmonton. I don't know if you follow any of that, but she was at the London Olympics. She'd won a whole bunch of triathlons before that. She had a whole bunch of crazy hip injuries, left that type of racing, has been doing long course stuff since. And The road racing world champ or national championships are this weekend in her hometown, Edmonton. So she just jumped into the women's TT and won the thing.
Okay.
Great.
Pretty awesome. It's got a nice steady pace. This is about how fast I was going at the end of Bologna.
Are you doing any event-specific training for that?
I've just
Brent?
tried to start finding a plan. I mean, it's a little hard to do event-specific training when one is an 88-kilometer road race and one is a 2-minute hill climb. So I will try to get out and do. I think the biggest challenge for me will be longer stuff. So I got to get out of the weekends, I think, and start doing some longer road rides. Get my shoulders and back in shape for that kind of stuff. You gotta like ride the bike, right? Part of Zwift is you just
Yeah.
pedal. Doesn't
Yep, with
fatigue,
no
doesn't
attention
fatigue
to your
upper body.
form and your position.
And then I'll want to practice like actually like riding hard up hills and stuff and getting like some.
We've got a herd racing series for that. It's called Climber's Gambit.
Yeah, well, it's only a 2-minute hill climb. Like the very, very fastest guys are like a minute 30 some odd.
Nice.
And then so it's and it's time trial style. So everyone leaves like every 15 or 30 seconds, and you just smash it as fast as you can to the top of the hill and get a time. But there's like technique to riding a hill that's a lot different than just riding leg snapper and Zwift.
Yeah.
That I'll need to. But fortunately for me, there's lots of hills around my house.
Nice.
My only question mark on it is if I end up with I'm not coaching any lacrosse in the summer, but my son will hopefully be playing lacrosse in the summer. If I have to take him somewhere, then that might put a damper on it. That would be the only crimp in the plan at this point. Finish it. Sometimes it's nice to look at the scenery in Zwift without like sweat stinging your eyes, blood pouring out of your nose.
I was thinking that earlier. Some of these graphics and features of the map I haven't noticed before. Some nice detail in here.
Sometimes when I'm riding, like warm up, whatever, I just like ride around the villages. I just like hit the right hand turn. That's what like they should make like a Umezi crit course, like just through the village, or like I guess you had to lead in from the pens or something, but lead in from the pens and then like 10 laps through the village. I guess there's no banner.
It is a good setup for that, though. All those 90-degree turns, pretty small course.
I think it'd be a nice change from downtown Dolphin.
Downtown Dolphin, 18 laps.
Here comes the finish. 5% downhill in. Putting on the power. Love it, Ed. Nice. See our chat got nice and spammed up. That's fun.
Oh, anything good?
I don't know. Something cheaper than Tinder, Chris. I don't know. I don't know anything about Tinder. I've been married since before Tinder was a thing, so.
Same. Hard
I didn't
pass.
know it was expensive, except for maybe if you got like needed medical care or a divorce.
Oh dear. I might need to read this. Yep, that's too bad.
I don't know if it deterred any of our chatters. I see one person let us know that they agree that lethal was steep, but Ed is done. Well done, Ed.
Good job, Ed. Strong finish.
Championship effort. God, I'm at an hour 44 in that course. That is. Whew.
Okay, well, that is it.
Good luck to everybody else riding HSRL this weekend. Have fun.
Have fun.
Okay,
We will see everybody out there.
bye.